Shalom Israel. Before I start, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baharaka Kadash, double honors to the elders and apostles in Israel who will and teach well, to the Akims and the hours and byways and those pushing videos in truth and sincerity, to the brothers and sisters in the truth. This is Ezekiel 9:4. It says, "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof." But this is what we are to do today. When it says go through the midst of Jerusalem, that's talking about the people. This is why you see brothers waking up, see brothers over in the UK, brothers in the Americas, the Caribbean, Africa, so on and so forth. You got brothers waking up and they're going through the midst of Jerusalem, trying to wake up the elect, so that they can be sealed, to get that mark set upon the elect of Israel. This is what we should be doing, and this is mainly for the brothers that are actually out teaching, etc. To continue doing the work, to try and get that elect sealed, because this is what is required of us, man. It's our reasonable service. This is Hebrews chapter 4 verse 11 says, "Let us labor therefore to enter into that rest, lest any man fall after the same example of unbelief." But it says, let us labor to enter into that rest. Like, we're not going to get into the kingdom without putting any work in. This work has to be done to wake up the elect. But it says, let us labor. Just want to quick look at this word here, labor. So this is what we have to be doing, man.
Strong's G 4704, Spudazo. Spudazo.
It says to hasten, make haste. So we shouldn't be dragging our foot about getting this work done so that we can get into that rest, so that we can get into the kingdom. It says to exert oneself. So you can't sit down and observe the kingdom into being. You have to be putting in work. And it says endeavor, give diligence. Just like how the scripture speaks about Esau being diligent in what he does, he puts in a diligent search to pull out his craft and his wiles to keep us in sin. We have to be just as diligent when it comes to doing the work. So we don't want to become lackadaisy, think that, I've done enough today. This is something we should be doing with love. This should be, you should look forward to actually going out and waking up your people, because what you're actually doing, you're actually bringing that kingdom in, because in going out there, the elect is waking up, they're getting sealed, and that's how we're going to get into the kingdom. Now this is Hebrews 4:1. It says, "Let us therefore fear, lest a promise being left of us and entering into his rest, any of you should seem to come short of it." And this is what we don't want to do, man. Fall short of getting into that kingdom, getting into the rest. And the best way to do that is to put all effort into this work, man. To waking up the elect of Israel. For it says, "For unto us was the gospel preached, as well as unto them. But the word preached did not profit them, not mixed with faith in them that heard it." So we know that 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed because they don't want to submit to this word. They don't want to believe this truth, I should say. I put it like that. They still want to go on in the various doctrines that they're in, continue keeping up the lifestyle that they've been keeping up. They don't want to change. So the word that we're preaching, it's not going to benefit them. They don't even, it says being mixed with faith. That's another thing that our people lack, is faith, especially faith in their power. They'll have faith in the system, in the here and now. But when it comes to putting faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, most of our people don't want to do that, But for those that are laboring, you don't want to come short. You yourself don't want to become lackadaisy 1 minute. And it's something we all need to pray to the Most High, that it keeps that spirit of laboring upon us, so that if it's your office where you go out and teach, so on and so forth, or make lessons on, the YouTube to wake up the elect of Israel, that he keeps that spirit on you. You don't want to become stagnant where 1 minute you're teaching or you're making lessons, and now you're not doing nothing. So we need to pray to the Most High that we don't fall short. he keeps that spirit on us so that we continue to labor, not become weary for doing this work. Romans chapter 12 verse 1, it says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of the Most High, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. This is our reasonable service. When you think about what is in store for us, and it's hard to think because we can imagine all kind of things that the kingdom's going to be like that, or it's going to be like this, but we really don't fully know what's in store for us. You know what I'm saying? But for us to get that, we have to be putting. For us to get that, we have to be putting in that work. Give me a second. Give me a second. So that. Yeah, Salakia Israel. So as I was saying, yeah, we need to be putting in that work, to get into the kingdom. We're not going to observe the kingdom into existence. And as the scripture says, it is our reasonable service. Present your bodies as a living sacrifice. Like, forget the things of this world that, we grew up loving. Like, these things are going to pass away anyway. None of these things that's on this side of the fence we're going to be bringing into the kingdom. So you might as well sacrifice all of that for what's to come and just do that work, man. Yeah, this is Matthew 9:37 says, then saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. So if you was a laborer and now you stop doing the work, the scripture's telling you that the laborers are few anyway. So you stopping doing this work, you're just making it even fewer. And it says the harvest is plenteous. Yeah, there's enough work out there to be done. So we need to be putting in as much work as possible, man. Just as they say in the world, go ham. Yeah, when you're in the world to do all kind of madness, you go ham, you go in, you go deep. Do the same thing for the Most High. Do the same thing when it comes to doing this work, man. Yeah, that's the least we can do, because the benefits that we're going to reap at the end of it outweighs anything we can think of on this side. It says, pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. And I just pray that the Most High don't take the spirit of me to stop laboring, man. Yeah, and all the other brothers that's out there laboring, that the Most High keep that spirit on you to do the laboring. The last thing you want now is to be taking your hand off the plow. The scripture speaks about that. This is Luke 9:62. Says, and Yahushua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of the Most High. So imagine now you come into this truth. It's a perfect example of Mark 4, where it speaks about the sower sowing the word. You come into this truth, you feel that fluffy feeling inside that you get, you just want more. You start going out doing the work, waking up with people, then next thing you know, you stop, not even doing the videos anymore, anything like that. Like, you've taken your hand off the plow. Now, where the laborers are few anyway to start with, you just shorten that number. You know what I'm saying? This is not what we want, man. We want to make sure that we continue to do the work to the best of our ability, man, that the Most High keeps that spirit upon us. Yeah, this is Matthew 25:19 says, and after a long time the Lord of those servants cometh and reckon with them. So this will be Yahushua returning now. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained besides them 5 talents more. So whatever the portion is, different portions we've been given. Yeah, you use whatever the Most High has given you to do this work. Yeah, hello, Salakia. Yeah, says Salakia Israel. Says, and so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained besides them 5 talents more. So It's the same spirit, but it's dished out in different portions. Everyone ain't got the same portion. What we're to do is to make the best of the portion that we have. You know, slacking for the noise in the background if you can hear that. You know, yeah, make the best of the portion that the Most High give you. You know, that's your reasonable service. Verse 21, his Lord saith unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things, I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. And this is what we want, man. We want to hear those words at the end of it. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Now, what we don't want, when we jump down, is verse 24. Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art an hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou was that is thine. Now, if you start to do this work and you stop doing the work, this is the category you're falling. You're starting to bury the talent that the Most High gave you. You're not getting an increase, and you want to be making an increase. Says 26. His Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant. Slothful. Yeah, where it says labor to get into the rest, now you become slothful, taking your hand off the plow, you know, trying to observe the kingdom into existence. There's always someone to wake up out there. Until that time come where we get the famine of the word, there's always someone out there to hear the truth. You know, even the scripture speaks about prophesying to the wind. So you might go out there, no one stopped to listen to you. You're still doing the work, because at the end of the day, those that didn't stop to hear the word and try and change their life, they'll have to answer why, when the opportunity came to them, when they heard the word, why they didn't acknowledge it. So prophesying to the wind is never pointless, because you're either going to wake up someone or they're just going to be condemning themselves. Yeah, so it says, verse 26, his Lord answered and said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant. Yeah, you've been lazy. Thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchanges, and then at my coming I should have received mine own with usury. So you're meant to be increasing in this truth, and you can't increase if you take it out of the plow. Now, we don't know how we're increasing, like how many people are waking up, etc. But you can't be waking up no one if you're not plowing, if you stop laboring. And this is what we are meant to be doing, man. We're laborers for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. The scripture speaks about go and bid them to the marriage. How can you bid someone to the marriage if you sit down in the yard watching football, playing PlayStation? Not saying you can't do these things, but those shouldn't be what you're doing all day in your spare time. You know, you should be using the time that you have to try and wake up the elect, to seal out the most. I get the elect sealed by pushing that word out there, either through hitting the streets, through doing lessons, you know. And, you know, that's not speaking about brothers that's new in the truth, because you still have to build up yourself so that you're in a position to go out there. But for those that's already out there hitting the streets, making videos, don't stop laboring, man, because what we're doing, there's a reward for this. Yeah, we're not doing this for nothing at the end of the day. And in this kingdom, where are we? We're at the bottom. We're laboring to get back to the top, where our rightful position, where Adam was when he was in the garden. Yeah, we're laboring to get back to that position and more, because it's going to be an eternal one now. No chance of us ever slipping and getting back to this estate again. The 28, they take therefore the talent from him and give it unto him which has 10 talents. So the little laboring that you was doing, yeah, all that's going to be stripped. It's not going to count for nothing anymore, because you chose to give up, man. That's why the scripture speaks about he that endureth to the end, the same shall be saved. 29, for unto everyone that has shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that has not shall be taken away even that which he has. Why? Because you chose to take it out of the plow. You stopped laboring. It says, and cast ye the unprofitable servant. We don't want to be deemed unprofitable servants, man. Yeah? And why would we be deemed unprofitable servants? because you stop that laboring, man, which is your reasonable service. Yeah, not everyone's gonna be like. There's one elder I know. This brother, he bangs out lessons and videos like there's no tomorrow. But not everyone's gonna be like that. But there's a saying we have: one cocoa fill the basket. So you don't have to be doing 2-3 videos a day. Yeah, but plodding along little by little, it builds, man. It builds, and before you know it, you got a little catalog behind you. Yeah. So verse 30 says, "And cast ye the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth." And the Aratas are, like I said, he keep the spirit on me, the brothers in the body that I'm with, and all the other brothers out there that are laboring, man. Yeah. 1 Corinthians 9:17, it says, "For if I do this thing willingly," just another thing, man. You have to do this willingly. Don't feel like, why, I ain't been out for a couple of days, I need to. No, man. You have to want to go out there. Oh boy, Saturday's coming. I have to hit the streets again. It's cold. Like, I hate the cold, but you know what? Even if I'm out there for an hour, half hour, whatever it is, just go out and do something, man. Yeah? Just do something and do it willingly. It says, "For if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward." Like I said, we're not doing this for nothing. The most I ain't gonna be so unrighteous to make you put in all that work and don't reward you for it. But if against my will a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me, yeah, what is my reward then? Verily is that when I preach the gospel, I make the gospel for Mashiach without charge. So we're not even meant to be trying to profit out of this. Freely receive, freely give. Yeah, the Most High is the one that we should be looking the reward from. Yeah, and if it's for you to gain a little something in this life, it will come to you. But don't make this like try and make profits out of this word, man. It says that I abuse not my power in the gospel, and that's what we don't want to be held charge of, man. Abusing the gift that the Most High has given us. And this is 1 Corinthians 2:9. "But as it is written, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which the Most High has prepared for them that love him." I know at times me and the brothers we sat down and we're like, yeah, but in the kingdom, man, we'd be doing this or could be doing that, and that's our imagination's going wild, isn't it? But even on top of that, as wild as we might get with our imaginations, it says, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard the things that the Most High has in store for them, man. Yeah? Imagine that. Like, we're chasing all kind of perishable stuff on this side of the fence. And the Most High has something like more than extra special waiting for us in the kingdom, man. But to get that, we have to continue doing this work, man. Yeah. This is the last scripture I'm going to pull out. This is Revelation 2:2. It says, "I know thy works and thy labor." Yeah? We have to keep laboring, man. "And thy patience," and you do that patiently. This is why brothers do drop out from doing the work, because they get fed up. It's like, why? Look at the apostles, man. Look at the apostles. They've been in this thing for God knows how long, like 30 years plus, and they're still pushing, doing the work, man. Yeah, they're still pushing, doing the work. So I've only been in this truth a span, nothing near what the elders have done. So for me to now say, boy, well, go on, man, this thing will take long. Nah, you have to be patient, man. Everyone's going to get their reward at the end of the day. The Most High is not unrighteous, but you have to keep doing that work. That's why it says, "I know thy works and thy labor and thy patience." Yeah, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil, and thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars, and has borne and has patience, for my name's sake has labored and has not fainted. And that's a good point there. It says, "For my name's sake has not for my name's sake has labored and not fainted." Yeah, so when trouble comes, shit hits the fan, you don't bow out, because you want something to eat. So you say, yeah, let me take the mark. Or, you want to save your life. So this, this Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. No. It says, and for my namesake has labored and has not fainted. And this is what we have to pray, man, that the Most High keep that spirit of laboring on us, that we don't faint. Let's see what this is. I didn't look this up previously.
Strong's G 2577. Comno.
Yeah, so in this truth, you don't want to grow weary, get fed up of doing the work. Be weary, be sick. Now, we can end up being sick. I know a brother's always ill, man, but even in that, the brother's still pushing out videos. Sometimes I phone the brother and it's like, how you feeling today, Ak? And it's like, boy, not too good, it's like, it was a struggle to get a video out today, but brother still got a video out. And then, you know what? The brother's banging them out. He doesn't realize it. I keep telling him. I remember one time Minim was talking, he's like, boy, because sometimes you're not going to be banging them out X amount a week. You might be, and then it might slow down, but you're still doing them. And I remember at one point he was like, I'm not really doing that much videos, but he was still doing videos. That's what I said to him. Look, when you're telling me you're not doing no videos, that's when I'll start to get worried, car. Sometimes you might do a lot, sometimes you might do a bit more, but you're still doing it. And now the brother's still sick, but of late, that spirit's been on him, all praises to the Most High, and he's banging out videos. So, but the point is, his sickness ain't making him grow weary of doing this, So more so for those of us who have health, yeah, use that health to do the work for the Most High, man. So there's a reward coming for us, man. This is what we have to remember. We're not doing this for nothing. We can only try and imagine what the Most High has in store for us, but as the scripture says, eyes have not seen. Read that again. 1 Corinthians 2:9. But as it is written, eye has not seen, nor ear heard, neither had entered into the heart of man. So as much as you might think what it might be like in the scriptures, especially again from what we've read, it's like what it might be like in the kingdom, especially from what we've read in the scriptures, it says, neither have entered into the heart of man. It's not even coming to your mind, the things which the Most High has prepared for them that love him, man. Yeah, so, yeah, this is just a little exhortation to the brothers that's out there laboring, to continue laboring, man, because it's worth it, man. Really and truly, it is worth it. And with that, I want to close out and we'll give all praises to Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, Haraka Kadash, Kwam Rasha Allah.